Hey friends, it's Natasha from YMO Homeschool, and today I'm going to do a review on Life of Fred Cats. I did a review on Life of Fred Butterflies, and I will link it down in the description box below if you want to check that one out. But basically, I wasn't thrilled with Butterflies, but my kids love Life of Fred, and I feel like they've learned a ton. So I wanted to try Cats because I heard that Butterflies kind of the worst in the series, and so I wanted to see if that was true for myself. So we did move on to Life of Fred Cats, and we finished it last night, so I thought I would give a review. Now, we do not use this as our core math curriculum. We use this as a supplement, as part of our bedtime basket reading. So that being said, there are 19 chapters in this book, and let's see if I can tell you what's in them. So time to the 5 minutes is included in this book. Counting by fives, counting by twos, counting by threes. Addition, counting by tens. Did I say that? I don't think I did. Counting by tens. Place value is pretty heavy in this book. The commutative property is introduced in this book, and it's introduced in like a real life way. I do like that. It talks about how many feet are in a yard, how many inches are in a yard, and then prime numbers are introduced, and at the very, very end, the last two chapters, division in a way is introduced. It's they call them boxable numbers, and my kids actually struggled with this concept if a number is boxable. And basically, I think where they're going with that is eventually is whether or not a number can be divided evenly or if there will be a remainder. But of course, that's not introduced in this book, Cats. It's just whether or not the numbers can fit into a square evenly. And so anyway, I will say that this book was much better than Butterflies. There wasn't so many questionable things that I came across in it. There is a place where it says idiot in here, and that took me by surprise. I'm always surprised. And yet I continue to use it. But it did say the word idiot, and it also talks about God. So it's just really weird to me how this author will use terms like that or connotations in Butterflies, but yet also is a Christian and talks about God also. So, I mean, maybe, idiot's not a bad word, but I definitely don't want my kids calling people idiots. So, there is that. That was the only questionable thing that I found in this book, and this book also does not focus so much on Fred not eating like Butterflies did. It does talk about how he doesn't want to lose weight because he's only 30 pounds or whatever he is, and so, hey, that was good. It was kind of... Anyway, you gotta watch my Butterflies review. That book is so weird, but this one was much better, and it has a funny storyline where Fred gets a pet cat, and it turns out to be a pet tiger, and, goes through that. What I do love about Life of Fred books is it introduces so many other concepts that are not math related, and so I didn't go over those, but some of those things are vowels. It talked about different countries, talked about Morse code, homonyms, 4 major oceans of the world, Ferdinand Magellan, germs and infection, the Mariana Trench. So, really, like, if you were a super creative homeschooler, you could turn this into a whole unit study. This could be like the core of your curriculum if you wanted it to be. And there's always extra little tidbits of information that are really above the kid's head, and it's more for the parent, some different facts and things. And so I do find that super interesting. But overall, I like this book, Cats, a lot better than Butterflies. I wish the author would tone it down a bit as far as the inappropriate stuff, but he doesn't. So I'm going to guess, now that I've seen some inappropriate things in butterflies and then the word idiot in this book, that it's probably a common theme where these inappropriate things are probably in his books overall. So what I would suggest is to go through them and maybe mark out anything that you don't like. Now, this is a library book, so I can't do that. However, maybe I could put a little sticky note or something like that over them, or just skip it when I'm reading it to them, or whatnot. Now, I mentioned before that we use the worksheets that you can find on the Facebook group Life of Fred Homeschoolers, and those I just print out, and we do them after we read the chapter. And so there's the, you don't have to have these, there's the Your Turn to Play in these books, which is the questions you're supposed to answer. But I find these worksheets cover the same information, same concepts as these here. So I will go over these, but I won't make them write them down, and then we do the worksheet. So, I mean, we maybe spend 15 minutes, if that, probably not even that, on the Life of Fred, and we do one chapter a night, and that's how it's worked for us. So anyway, there is my review. It's much better than Butterflies. I don't personally consider Life of Fred a full curriculum unless you are going to add more to it. Now, if you do, you know, the worksheets with it, and maybe you are drilling math facts, and maybe doing some games and things like that, you could probably turn it into a full curriculum. But if you do it just this, I feel like it's not a full curriculum. But I do like how it has introduced my kids to concepts that they will later use. And so, for example, commutative, it talks about how, you know, Fred tried to put he put a shirt on over his pajama top, and then he tried to take his pajama top off, and he talked about how that's not commutative. You have to take your pajama top off and then put your shirt on. And so just things like that, where they're being introduced to these concepts in a way that they can get, and then when they're older and they're talking about numbers and whether or not these, you know, functions are commutative, they will be able to think about it, you know, in a logical manner that makes sense to them. So that I really like, and I think it's like just enough information where it doesn't become boring or uninteresting or tedious. And so that's why I have continued to use it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get dogs, but I'm going to look over it before I use it with the girls. And if it turns out that really all of his books are wildly inappropriate, then I will stop using them. But I did want it to give, I guess, Life of Fred a second chance after I read Butterflies. I didn't remember anything inappropriate in apples, but Butterflies was like so out there. But I heard or read in reviews that that was really kind of the worst book in the series, and so I wanted to give it a second chance, and I'm glad I did with Cats. This was a good book. It's just that one word, and so it's like, why put that in there when this could be, I would have zero complaints about it if that one word wasn't in there. But maybe I'm being a little too sensitive. I don't know, but who expects to see the word idiot in a math book, you know? And so, anyways, it is what it is. I even feel funny saying it on YouTube, so sorry, hopefully no kids were watching. Anyway, there we have it. If you have any questions, let me know. Bottom line, I do recommend this book. Just avoid that word. And you can totally avoid that word when you're reading through. If you are looking for it, you know it's there, so it's not really a huge deal. All right, well, thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video, if you want to see more curriculum reviews, please give me a like, subscribe, comment. I love talking curriculum, so I'm happy to answer any questions or do reviews on other curriculum. I've used a lot, so let me know. All right, thanks so much.